Come, let me tell you a story about a man God found in hiding. Long ago, there was a people called the Israelites. God had been very good to them. They were called God's own people. He helped them with battles that they could have never won on their own. He even gave them the beautiful land to live in. He protected them again and again. But after some time, they began to forget. Not all at once. They didn't wake up one morning and decide to turn away from God. This happened slowly. They started looking at the people around them, their neighbors. They started looking at their customs, their idols. So those neighbors actually worshipped statues. They worshipped wooden images that could not speak, could not hear, could not help them. And little by little, the Israelites began to copy them. They drifted until they were living as if God didn't matter anymore. And when people forget the one who protects them, they slowly lose the protection they forgot about. So God allowed something difficult to happen. He allowed a group called the Midianites to rise against them. Now the Midianites weren't kings trying to rule Israel. They were raiders. Now every year, the Israelites would plant their crops. They would work hard. They would wait patiently. They would watch their fields grow. And just when harvest was near, Midianites would come with camels that covered the land like locusts. They would even take the grain, the sheep, the cattle, the donkeys of the Israelites, and they left them with nothing. Now the Israelites were left starving. Imagine planting food for months and only for someone else to come take it in one day. Now this went on for 7 years. 7 years of fear, of feeling small, of losses. Israelites were no longer bold people living in promise. Now they were hiding. They started hiding in caves, in mountains, underground shelter. These are people that are meant to stand tall. Now they are learning how to survive in the shadows. And finally, after years of this, they cried out to God. But here is something many people don't notice. God didn't immediately send them a hero. First, he sent them a message through a prophet. Now the prophet came and he reminded them. He said, I brought you out of Egypt. I rescued you, but you did not listen. Now the real problem wasn't the Midianites. The real problem was the heart of the Israelites. And while all this was happening, there was one man trying to save just a small part of wheat, just enough to survive. His name was Gideon. Now Gideon was not what you would call a hero. He was from the tribe of Manasseh, which is the smallest tribe in Israel. And in that tribe, he was in the smallest clan, and he was in the least in his father's house. If you were choosing someone to rescue a nation, you would not choose Gideon. But when the story finds him, he is not on the battlefield. He was hiding. He was threshing wheat in a winepress. Now, wheat is supposed to be threshed on a hilltop where the wind can come and blow the chaff away, in the open, in the sunlight. But Gideon was not on the hill. Instead, he was in the winepress. The winepress is an enclosed, hidden place because Gideon was afraid that the Midianites would see the grain, afraid that they would take even this small amount. So picture him there, bent over, walking quickly, listening to footsteps. He wasn't even dreaming of victory, just trying to survive. And that is where God found him. Not in strength, not in confidence, not in public, but in hiding. An angel of the Lord appeared and spoke to him. And what did he call him? Mighty warrior. So imagine hearing that when you're crouched in fear. Gideon didn't respond like a warrior. He responded like someone who was tired and confused. He said, if the Lord is really with us, why has all of this happened? Where are the miracles that our ancestors told us about? Now, Gideon wasn't being rebellious. He was hurting. And instead of arguing with him, God called him. Go in the strength you have. I am sending you. Not go when you're brave, not go when you feel qualified. Instead, go in the strengths you have. Gideon looked at his weaknesses. He looked at his potential. He saw his smallness, but God saw his own power. And the turning point of the story is not that Gideon suddenly became fearless. It is that God promised to be with him. Sometimes the miracle is not immediate victory. Sometimes the miracle is in the moment God meets you in the place where you are hiding. And that is where we pause for today. This is Neka. Join me next time as we continue Gideon's story. Remain blessed.